welcome to another episode of Monix. Yeah, as usual, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you to everyone who keeps coming back for every new episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. If you are new to this channel, my name is Moyo Sori, and this channel is called Monix. This channel is dedicated to lifestyle, fashion, education, marriage, love, friendship. In short, we talk about everything that has to do with life, and the aim is for each viewer to learn one or two things. I love to teach, so I believe that in everything I talk about, in everything I say, there is a lesson for one person at the minimum to learn. Thank you guys. So if you're new, please subscribe. Please always come back on a weekly basis because I drop a new video per week. So always come back every week to check this channel, to watch a new video, and also to learn one or two things. So welcome guys. Today I'll be talking to you all about my personal list of what I think should matter most to you once you clock 30, or once you are in your 30s. What should matter most to you? Before I proceed, I need to tell you that this is my own personal list of what I consider very important and what should matter most. So it doesn't mean that this is what should matter to everyone, but it's just my own personal list, which I think should, matter to quite a number of people who are already in their 30s. So it's mostly, a lot of people say, or I don't know if it's a lot of people say, or if it's a myth, or if it's a general saying that life begins at 40. For me, I don't think life begins at 40. I think life begins at that point when you have a good understanding of who you are. When you realize that you are a human being, when you realize that there's a need for you to move forward in life, and you realize that there is a need for you to achieve something in life and to add value to the world. I feel that that is when life begins for you. So it's mostly in our 30s that those of us, especially from African homes, begin to take decisions and take control of our lives. When we are in our 20s, our parents, relatives, pastors, imams, teachers, they have a lot of influence in our lives, and sometimes they tell us what to do and how to do them. And then most times when we cross the 20s into our 30s, we become sort of independent, because a lot of people at this age, get married, they start their own family. Some people move out of their parents' house, even if they're not married, to start their own life, to build a career. And then some become managers and entrepreneurs. They become, the top boss in their place of employment, and then they make decisions, and then they make decisions in the workplace. So technically it's in our 30s that a large percentage of people become independent decision makers. So based on this, I feel like there are some things that should matter most to us, some things that should be very important to us as we grow, into our 30s, upwards. So like I earlier said, these I consider to be priority to me. They are things that I consider really important. So it might not be the same as what you consider important, but I feel like there's no how you can go through life in your 30s and you won't consider some of these things, be it one or two or three or four out of these things, as very important to you. So to this end, I will give you my list. I identified about 8 things, but if I'm able to cover every one of them, fine, but if not, we'll talk about this some other time. But I'm going to talk about this point as fast as possible, and I hope you pick some ideas. So the first thing that I personally feel should be most important to you in your 30s, before I start talking about the list, I need to say this. If you discover yourself when you clock 20, if you discover yourself when you're 19, please go ahead and make sure that you consider what matters most to you in life. You don't have to wait till when you're 30 before you begin to think about these things. Whatever age you clock, and then like I earlier said, you understand that you're a human being, you understand that you need to contribute to the world, you need to add value in your place of work, you need to add value in your family. You begin to understand that you are a human being and there is a purpose for which you are on earth. Then you should, consider, think about what matters most to you and focus on them. So now to what I consider important. The first is my faith. So I'm a Christian, and I believe in God, and I believe that God is and should be at the center of everything that pertains to my life. And one thing I've realized is that the moment you understand that you can't do anything without God, the moment you realize that without God you are nothing, then you begin to, grow and develop. So whatsoever it is that I do, whatever decision it is that I want to make, whatever step I want to take, whatever move I want to, make, I always, put God in the center of it all. Yeah, that is very important. I put God in the center of it all because I know that without him I'm nothing. Yeah, so the moment I clocked 30, I began to, incorporate God into everything. I began to, think about, okay, what will God do in this situation? What will God have me do? Am I doing it? Am I doing things the godly way? So God is at the center of it all. So you need to know that your faith in God is very important, and you need to build your relationship with God. So the second point for me is my happiness. Yes, my happiness is the next point. So I'm someone who loves to be happy, and it's everywhere. If you go on YouTube, on TV, everywhere, events, where people talk, they tell you that you are the only one who can make yourself happy. You shouldn't, your happiness shouldn't depend on someone else. You don't wait for someone else to make you happy. So I personally have prioritized my happiness. So it's one of the things that really matter most to me now that I'm in my 30s. So I don't wait for anyone to make me happy. I try to make myself happy. I pamper myself. I talk to myself. I encourage myself. And then if I identify a person, a thing, or a situation that constantly makes me unhappy, or that attempts to make me unhappy, I discard such, like, with immediate alacrity. Like, I don't waste time. So I prioritize my happiness. My happiness is very key and important. So don't wait until tomorrow to make yourself happy. Start making yourself happy now, and have it at the back of your mind that your happiness does not depend on anyone. Your husband should not be the one to make you happy. Your wife should not be the one to make you happy. Your children should not be the one to make you happy. Your happiness should not depend on them. You should make a conscious effort. You should be deliberate about being happy. Make yourself happy always. So the next thing that should be, or that is most important to me now, and that I feel should be, important to anyone in their 30s, is your career and your hustle. So career in the sense that if you are a career person, a career woman, or a man who loves his career, loves his profession, you do your 9 to 5, your 8 to 4, whatever it is you do, I feel like it's in your 30s, or if you start early in your 20s, I think it's the time for you to build your career, the time to focus, the time for you to, set targets for yourself, make goals and plan towards achieving those goals. The time for you to work tirelessly. I mean, I'm not saying you should work day and night, kill yourself, stress yourself. No, but you should be smart in making goals, in making decisions, and then plan to build a good career, plan to build a successful career. And if you're an entrepreneur who is into business, also is real in this life. Some people think it's only in Africa. People also everywhere. Yeah, in almost every continent. Let me use Nigerians as an example. There's no way you see Nigerians, be it Spain, be it China, be it America, be it Australia. Nigerians are constantly hustling. Like, nobody sits down, because in some of these countries, if you sit down and then you keep waiting for somebody to bring a bag of gold to your doorstep, you will wait in vain. So you need to also, whatever craft you find yourself in, whatever thing you find your hands doing, do it well, also hard. Just continue to push, because now at this age we are very young, we're agile, we can do a lot of things. So just keep at it, keep working hard, and above all, ask for God's blessing. God will bless your hustle. God will bless every enterprise you set up. God will bless your career. God will bless everything you do. So also hard, work hard, build your career, and ask God for favor. So the next for me is your family. Your family should matter to you at this point in your life. So a lot of us, when while growing up with our parents, it's everything we had at the back of our minds was I can't wait to grow old, I can't wait to leave this house, I can't wait to jet out, I need to start my own life, I want to be free. But trust me, by the time you become free, you become responsible for some things, you start getting responsible, because by the time you start working and you start staying on your own, you realize that you need to pay your rent, you need to pay your car insurance, you need to pay your, a lot of responsibilities, come with being independent, and if come with you staying on your own or becoming a person of your own. So you need to realize that by the time you become responsible, you're on your own. Do not ignore your family members, do not ignore your parents, do not ignore your spouse, do not ignore your children, do not ignore those very close relative of yours that matter to you. Try to create time for everyone, try to create time for your parents especially. This is something I've come to realize, that in this life, our parents, parents do a lot for their children to succeed. Parents go all out to stress themselves, to work so hard to ensure that their children get the right education and to get a good life. So it's very important for us as children, when we grow up and we become people of our own, that we remember our parents, we take care of them. If we have it, even if you don't have enough, out of the little you have, remember to take care of your parents. Check on them, call them. Don't be that kind of child that will wait till 6 months or 5 months or 4 months after leaving their house to call their parents to check on them. Try make it a duty to always check on them. Spoil them when you have money, because while they are alive, you have the opportunity to take care of them. But trust me, when they are gone and they are no more, you will not have the opportunity to take care of them. So while they are alive, take good care of them, spend time with them, call them, take care of everyone around you, those who really matter to you in your family, amongst your relatives, your cousins, those, you know them, those who I'm talking about. Check on them, love them. Yeah, that's just it for me. And then the next one is that I feel like in our 30s, we should learn to build ourselves, build our talent, and to improve ourselves. So like, related to what I said about career and also building your talent, building your talent and then improving yourself. Yeah, it really has to do with acquiring skills here and there, learning a trade, learning a skill, picking up, just picking up more knowledge that will help you in your day-to-day life, your day-to-day activities. So we are still very young, we are still able to assimilate things, we are still able to study, to read and learn, because unlike a 60-year-old or a 70-year-old, it might not really be able to assimilate things. It might really not be able to, start picking up skills at that point. But you are in your 30s, you are still strong, you are still agile. So, try to improve yourself, learn a skill, learn a trade if it's possible. Just constantly keep improving yourself. Another point which is really very important is this: savings and investment. So I'm very fortunate to have a mother who knows how to save. So if I'm to pick one person in this world who I know that has never been broke, or someone who I know that never gets broke, like you cannot catch her broke, that person is my mother. Like, since I grew up knowing my mom, she's a saver. My mom knows how to save. She's very prudent. She's not a spendthrift who spends as the money comes. So like Yoruba people will say, they will say mafia wo mewe wajon, like don't eat with your 10 fingers, meaning don't waste your resources when you have them. Always learn to save. Learn to save, no matter how little your income is. Try as much as possible to save. I'm also talking to myself, because sometimes I find myself buying this, ordering that. It's actually not good, because who knows what tomorrow holds for anyone. Just like the way coronavirus came in and a lot of people lost their jobs, people have to stay back at home, people have to stay back at home, basically like watching TV or looking at the sky. There's nothing for them to eat, nothing for them to drink. Everyone, like everybody just went broke. But if you have actually cultivated a habit of saving, or if you already had investment prior to coronavirus outbreak and then the lockdown, at least you would have something to fall back on. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that as we go through life, let us learn how to save, let us learn to invest. If you know how to invest, good for you. Please go ahead, invest. If you know how to save, go ahead and save, because nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. And then apart from that, you don't want a situation where you work in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, you work, and then your sisters, there's nothing to show for it. You don't even have a house of your own, you don't even have a car of your own, you have nothing to your name. That will be sad, because even the Bible talks about that, yeah, human beings should actually leave something behind for their children, for their generations to come. So what would you leave behind for generations to come after you're gone if you don't save, if you don't invest? So think about it. So the other thing that I think is also very important for me in my 30s, or that you should consider important now, is building a network of professionals. This is very key. And I'm also talking to myself here, because I'm this kind of person who really doesn't know how to, reach out to people or keep in touch, or, I like my space, but sometimes you need to go out of your comfort zone. And one of the ways to do this is to build a network of professionals around you. So your old classmates, your current classmates, your teachers, your professors, people you meet at events, at conferences, try to, build that network such that, when you need ideas, when there's an opportunity you want to explore, there are these people there that you can easily call. And then of course, not just you reaping benefits from this network, there are also some people in those networks that would also need your help. So it's just always good to build a network of professionals around you, people who can give you ideas, people who you can set up a business with, people who you can have a plan, and then look around you and say, who can I discuss this with? Who can, help me to bring this plan or this dream to reality? It's amongst your network that you can easily fish out someone, that can be of help to you. So that's why there's LinkedIn. LinkedIn is actually a good platform for you to build a network. You can identify people who you like, people you want to be like, people who you feel could mentor you, people who you feel could be of help to your career. You can identify them, keep in touch, and then build a proper relationship with them. Yeah, build a proper relationship with them, and just have that network of professionals around you, because you never know how they are going to help you. Like, not again, using this coronavirus pandemic as an example, a lot of people who lost their job, a lot of people who did not have anything to fall back on, have reached out to their LinkedIn connections to ask them for help, to get a job, or to help them with one or two things. So always have a network of professionals around you. Build it consciously. So when you go out to events, you go out to conferences, be deliberate about meeting people, be deliberate about connecting with people. So my last and final point is, have a very few good and close friends. I said few good and close friends. So personally, I'm not one to have numerous friends, no numerous close friends. I have a lot of acquaintances, but I have just a very few close friends. You need these friends because sometimes in life you go through problems, because problems will come, but with the help of the Holy Spirit we will overcome. With the help of the Holy Spirit we will overcome. And we also need friends who we can talk to. We need friends who can give us listening ears. We need friends who can be there for us when we need help. Friends that we can easily call and say, Reba, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? People that can actually help you to make life decisions. Your family is there for a purpose. Your family members should be your friends, but you also need this non-family members who are real and genuine friends, who mean well for you, and who you have their own best interest at heart as well. So just have them. I don't really care about having a lot of friends. Some people have a lot of friends and it works for them, but I feel like having a lot of friends is distracting. And then I feel like at this point in time, when you're in your 30s, when you are building, when you are trying to build and grow, you don't need distraction. You don't need a lot of friends around you that will distract you from your goals. So I would say, it's just my advice and it's my personal opinion, just have a very few good and close friends that you can grow with and also learn from, and they also can learn from you and gain benefits from you. So guys, those are all the points. So let me just reiterate what's most to you when you're in your 30s. And the first is your faith, which is very key. Second is your happiness. The third is your career and your hustle. The fourth, your family. The fifth, build your talent, improve yourself. The sixth is learn to save and learn to invest. The seventh is build a network of professionals. Build a network of professionals. And then the last point is have a very few good and close friends around you. So, in conclusion, guys, I would just like to say that your 30s is a season for you to sow, to build, and to grow. And above all, always have it at the back of your mind that your faith in God should grow as you grow mentally, physically, and financially. Above all, I would say again that ask God to help you because when you grow old, when you become an adult, that is when you experience the realities of life. You begin to see there will be trials, there will be challenges. Of course, there will be happy times, there will be good times, time to celebrate, time to enjoy, time to be happy, and time to celebrate, time to be joyful. But have it at the back of your mind that there will be trials, there will be temptations, but above all, the good God will see you guys through. We see everyone of us through, including me. Guys, that's all I have for you on today's episode of Monix. Till we see you again. Ciao.